At the time, we said, nope. There's really like on the Salad Cloud portal, there's no mention or availability of higher RAM amounts. That is changing now. It has actually already changed.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm a couple minutes late to the live stream, so I am going to clock this back to the beginning where they were talking about some 4090 workload, stuff like that, and then let it rip, and then I will be right back because I got to step away. So yeah, if you're watching this after the fact, we'll get caught up on this stuff, and maybe there's some gems hidden in there. So let's get to it. If my there we go.
Angaros posted another question here.
This is actually an API that is already partly developed for one specific use case that can show like last 24-hour earnings, per machine earnings. It's still not super valuable just because it's very limited in what it provides. It's essentially less than what you would get by going to your earnings summary page, but we have talked a lot about making that public. And even when talking with some for more prominent and technically savvy chefs, we have mentioned the possibility of giving them API access at some point. So I would be relatively confident that this is something that we should see within the next quarter or two at the most. But ideally, I want there to be more functionality in that API, or at least more data available for you guys before we make it available. Just today, we've been discussing some tech upgrades to our infrastructure that would make it easier for us to give you more detailed, more granular earning data, and so that you could not only see when you're earning, as you do right now in the earnings summary page, but you could see when you were chopping, which I know, especially during those times of the excess supply of computers in the network, was a feature that was requested several times. So that you could see, oh, I was chopping for X amount of hours, but I was really only getting a workload for a subset of those. So we want to make all of that available on the earnings summary page and on the API. Whenever we get closer to that, I'll show more news. Hopefully, we'll get a few of you guys as beta testers for that API. But yes, it is in the works.
Hell yeah. Yippee, says Alyssa. I think that's a positive reaction.
Yep.
Cursed Adam says, I've actually been using the Balance API to record my earnings over long periods. My spreadsheet is now at 8 months of data. Hell yeah, man. Like, I love when chefs are tracking their data. Like, that's just the best way to get value out of salad like that. Would it be open to tinkerers or used for pages like the widget and summary?
It would be open to anybody who has a Salad account, but you would only get the data for the nodes on your account. And I know there was mention of like, oh, are there jobs available? We're not really contemplating that right now because orchestration is something that changes like literally second to second. But overall, more earning data and more performance information, etc., that we do want to make available.
Sweet. All right, and Garos has got the next question up here. Other than the base internet speed requirements, the minimum for containers, does having a higher speed Libra speed result influence your ability to get containers and bandwidth sharing, or is the minimum the only use for Libra speed?
No, it does correlate with, I would say mostly correlates in some very specific situations that I believe are not even live yet, might directly impact the workload availability. Right now, what happens is usually if you have higher bandwidth, that means you can get a workload running faster. let's say a specific workload requires that you download 20 gigs of data before it gets running. Um, let's say you have a very slow bandwidth, like on the Libra speed test, you cleared the minimum, but then for whatever reason, it's now capped and you can't get really a good download speed going. And it takes forever to download those 20 gigabytes. At some point, the customer might be like, this node is underperforming. I'm going to cut him off. So you get temporarily blocked from that workload. Whereas if you had very fast internet, you could get running very quickly and as such would have more success getting workloads up and running and earning. And in the future, what we have.
I'm gonna just pause it right there, which technically we're not gonna be live because I'm pausing a live stream. But I did want to say something here. I've been battling internet issues at my location, and when I was having some internet problems and I was only getting about 10 to 15 meg down, my entire farm came to a screeching halt. So internet speed is absolutely important, and if you deploy multiple machines all at the same time and they're all trying to download containers at the same time, you will have machines fail if you don't have enough bandwidth to support them. So say you only have 100 down, there's people that have 50 down and they have 5 different machines and they're wondering why they can't keep jobs. Just one of those other metrics that you are graded on, but then they don't tell you how they're graded or how you're graded on it. They just tell you you need a lot of bandwidth. Get that bandwidth. All right, let me jump back into it. Sorry, don't mean to diverge. It'll load.
Other than that, I can also say that we're soon going to be adding log information to the heavy process detection so that you guys can, those of you that are inclined to look at the logs, can take a peek at those as well.
Oh, yeah, I love seeing all these people talking about retiring their log readers. It's been doing all the work for them. That's great. Let's see. Are blacklisted machine ID or account specific?
I think he's talking about how we block workloads.
Right.
They're machine specific.
They're machine ID specific indeed.
Okay. There you go, glued to it. I like that name. What's this in reference to?
So when you're running a heavy process and our Salad detects it and launches the overlay, there might be a situation where there's a lot of logic, there's a lot of edge cases in detecting what app to draw the overlay on top of, or if not, just drawing it on top of the Windows desktop. Sorry. Sometimes that fails. Sometimes it'll try to draw it over an app that is not currently in focus. We're still making various improvements there. And some other people have mentioned that it's perhaps a little bit too fast. We didn't want it to linger too much, so we actually modeled it after the NVIDIA overlay speeds, the Shadowplay overlay. Regardless, one option that we are releasing fairly soon, hopefully next week, is you'll be able to disable the Salad overlay. And if you do so, there will be.
Thank you. We need to disable the Salad overlay. Thank you.
Usage of your GPU. If we think you're running a heavy process, will still be there. But if for some reason the overlay was causing issues with a game you were running, or it's just too fast for informative and not annoying.
This
So a
is
lot of
so
people
bad.
complain like,
I
why are you,
apologize.
grabbing focus, taking my attention away from a game or whatever.
Mm.
So we try to make it again as quick as possible. But yes, I have heard a lot of comments in this regard. But my thinking is that if we made it longer, we would also have a bunch of complaints that it is now too slow. So I think having that option of like, yeah, just maybe turn it off, you'll get Windows notifications instead. That could help.
Sweet.
I like Pepe's comment.
Like
Pepe.
Make it
cowbell sound.
also play a really loud and obnoxious cowbell sound.
I'm not hearing
That
it.
would be great.
Needs more cowbell. It should just it should be like a really bad quality cow moo with cowbell sound effect.
Should just be Bob's voice saying "ding."
Yeah. It's super distorted. Like it's like an Xbox original Xbox Live headset. Mate.
Knock that off.
Yeah. That's so good. All right, so Angar posted the next question. I would like to see an option to export my salad chopping data with machine ID to CSV file or something so I can get a better look at which machines are doing better. The representation of the data in the web interface is kind of hard to follow.
Right. That is actually, as I was mentioning just a little bit ago, we're discussing adding like a time series database, which is a type of database that is especially good at recording a lot of data for information that happens across time. Into it, but I'm assuming the technical savviness difference between being able to take advantage of the API and just wanting to use the interface, most people will fall within one or the other, and making a direct CSV export not as appealing. But we'll see.
Okay, one other person was talking about the display, the overlay disappearing too quick. Yep. What's the most important spec to have in the GPU and CPU? I have an RTX 3090.
All right, hold on. Let me make them quiet here for a second. So, is my stream coming through okay? It's just I can't watch their stream okay. Is that what's going on? Because that's what seems to be going on from my end. Like I can see, is that like theirs is blurry, and whenever I turn the quality up, it like buffers constantly. Is the hurricane affecting your power internet? Probably. Anytime the wind blows out here, we lose internet or something. It's fine for me now. Yeah. Anyway, in the beginning of the stream, they did talk about there is a person on the network that is renting out 4090s with at least 64 gigs of RAM and at least 100 gigabytes of storage space. So they said all 4090s that qualify with qualifying internet access, which is recommended 100 down and 50 up, should have a workload on them. And it's about a $5 a day workload, just to get you guys caught up. Now, a lot of people, of course, are asking about like API questions and can you rename your rigs or when can you do that, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. And by the way, hi, everybody. Hi, Andrew, Mining King, Alex, PC Games Tech, Aragorn Strider, of course, Peepaw Bill. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for coming out. This was thrown together last minute. I apologize in advance. But let me get back to the stream, and if anything good comes up, yeah, it does look blurry. I'm going to try to turn the quality up one more time. Go from there.
Settings, anything of that sort, then we might be able to relax our stance on.
Awesome. Excellent question. See, Scythe was commenting on Nad's question earlier. Do you expect there will be more spikes in demand like what happened early in this week? Oh, yeah.
That is what our entire business is based on, that we'll continue to see increases in demand. When? Hopefully as soon as possible. But, we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But yes, the spikes will continue like a Stegosaurus's tail, just going up. A strange comparison I just made, but it's the first image that came to mind. Is the false profits going to get fixed?
I think I can take this one.
Go for it.
Yeah, so it's something that I've been personally investigating for a while now. We definitely are going to fix it. It is on our radar. How soon? I don't have information on this yet, but we have received the reports, and I've shifted through all of the information. And so now we have to find the culprit. And
Angaros, I think it might be useful if we explain what this is, because I think this isn't really false profits. It's just the predicted earnings, right?
yeah, so there is one instance of the issue where essentially Salad is showing up a predicted earnings in your application, even though the container is not actually running. It picks up a previous container you're running and keeps showing that prediction on your machine, even though technically your computer is still idle at this point in time. And so that's like, at this point in time, you shouldn't really be getting paid, but it is displaying, so it is confusing as a user, for sure. And I also saw your second question. Do you need more logs? If you have the issue, definitely hit me up. More data is always useful for us to pinpoint the issue.
Saw Brandon come in. Brandon, welcome. Good to see you. Yep, we're back. Just a little break after episode 200 there. Very busy on the kitchen side. Ivan got married last week, actually, so
I got hitched.
yeah,
Off the market.
yeah. Sorry, guys. No more single Ivan. It's a married man Ivan now. His entire vibe is changing.
I become more boring than I was.
Yeah, he just starts wearing a suit. Fully slicked back hair.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways, quick question. Is there any ideas on providing a page that shows what GPUs are in demand or not in demand, even just a basic layout?
So I think, again, it may change so quickly, but what we can say right now is, like, we'll be using channels such as these and social media, etc., to communicate when there's a clear need for a specific type of GPU, which we just mentioned a few minutes ago. Right now, we have massive needs for 4090s, 3090s, and even 3080s, I believe, or is it 4080s?
4080s.
Right.
Yeah, and I think there is a small need for 3080, so that is still true. But yeah, those are our main GPUs. So yeah, we reach out any way we can. I was even DMing Brandon, like, hey, 4090 jobs, hot, need them. But yeah, we try to get the word out. For fleet, should we limit port speeds to prevent one machine from hogging all the bandwidth?
All right, so I was just quietening that down for a second. So interesting. I have 3090s that are sitting doing nothing, although they may be downloading jobs right now. But I knew that they needed 4090s. I was unaware of 3090s and 3080s being in demand. I don't know if that means they just need a lot of them or they need available ones, because I got some available sitting right over here. Let me ask them what would be the recommended spec for these 4090 or 3090 machines.
Many nodes running at the same time. All of them are trying to download the new version of Salad, right? Yes, it could benefit you. Just make sure every node can at least meet the minimum requirement, which I believe, Angaros, correct me if I'm wrong, is right now at 10 megabits.
We're more towards 15, 20.
50, okay.
In both download and upload.
Mm-hmm. So as long as you can ensure that as a minimum, yes, feel free to limit it if you think that's for the best.
Saw one from Nat about Windows Insider. Not recommended.
I would not recommend it just because that could come with more unstable versions of Windows, or potentially some features that could, in some scenario, impact how Salad works, and we've yet to adjust to those. So while there's no like hard rule like don't do it, you might encounter more issues than you would otherwise. And yes, 15 up down per machine.
Brandon asks, what is the recommended spec for a 3090, 4090 machine? Example of the rigs I'm running: 8-core GPU, 64 gigabytes DDR4, 1 terabyte drive with RTX 3090.
Right. So I think the main two things is for a 24 gig of VRAM card, you would want at the very least 48 gigs of system RAM, which essentially means 64, right? Like who's buying mismatched RAM sticks on this day and age? But yeah, 64 gigs of RAM paired with that 24 gig card, meeting, of course, the minimum bandwidth requirements, which we just outlined, and having at least 70 gigs of storage space available on your main Windows drive, wherever WSL is running from. So those would be the ideal specs, I would say.
Great answer. Just reading through these follow-ups here. So Angaros is gonna step away for a little bit. So any specific Angaros questions will hold until he returns. Can an AC unit be sold on the Salad store? These 4090 containers are hot. Completely agree.
Yes. Hopefully one day we return to hardware rewards. Maybe you could add some, like liquid cooling in there.
Yeah, I'd be remiss not to mention the old days back before Ivan and I were even here. You know, Jared used to fulfill reward redemptions individually, and anything that required a physical, like someone was just in charge of sending each one. That's how many chefs there were at the time. It's crazy. Thank you for the answer from Brandon. Does CPU speed matter, or is it just core driven from the customer side?
It's really just core driven. I think if at some point we get much more sophisticated about CPU workloads, there could be, distinction in terms of like clock speeds. Right now, it's really just how many cores would a given workload require. And honestly, for like most of the best paying workloads, which are GPU workloads, it's really just like one core. So yeah, I wouldn't fret too much about CPU right now.
Sweet. Customers would love my CPU.
Single core.
All core.
That's me with a calculator in my hand, just doing math.
Yeah.
I'm one core.
I'm the one core. I guess that's true. I'm a single core computer. Angaros has returned. It's funny because Pepe Salad posted this as soon as he left. Angaros, how are you? And then, unfortunately you weren't here. So I just told him whatever, But, I think, let's see. I'm scrolling through. Did we have any more questions from the Discord to post in, or did we manage to hit all of those?
I think I have a couple more I could post.
Okay.
If you want to
hit those.
Yeah, and just to answer Pepe Salad, doing good. Bunch of work trying to figure out the predicted earning defects, but I'm doing cool. How about you?
Let me take a moment to just let the community know how good Angros is at his job and how relentless he is when he's investigating issues. Sometimes he would come with an issue and I'd be like, seems like there's not enough evidence, and he won't let that go, and he'll come back like months later, like, I finally have enough evidence, there's something going on. So he's definitely an asset for the team, both for you guys and for us as a company. So kudos to Agaris for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ivan. Means a lot.
Yeah, props to Angaros. Been working together on a few 4090 rush ideas. It's been a great help to the team. Oh, here we go. So, what was used as inspiration for Salad, or is it totally original? Oh man.
Well, I think the obvious answer is SETI at home and folding at home, which
Yeah.
were the OGs of distributed computing online.
Yeah, I mean, I wish Jared was here, as he's so closely tied to the founders in the old days of Salad. But I think Ivan answered the question pretty well. I think, yeah, I mean, the story of Salad. I won't go into why we're called Salad, because we answer that question every time. Everyone in this call has heard the story, so I'll just hit the next question. I know scheduled chopping is a thing, but can we have more granular control? What I would like to do is be able to enable mining, but only when the sun is shining and my solar is producing on daylight schedule.
Interesting. I'll write it down. We might get to it at some point. It's a little bit of a niche feature, but probably wouldn't require that much work, to be honest.
Well, maybe my Salad
Write it down,
machines
no
are
problem.
downloading 3090 workloads, and that's why I
how
have
would that
no
work?
download speed to watch this stream.
To know if the sun was providing power.
We're gonna add a sundial that pops out of the monitor.
So
No,
that'd
but likely we would add a separate scheduler for, or a different setting for the scheduler, where you would be like all types of mining, or just, or all types of workloads, or just container workloads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I thought the same, Scythe, but I think that scheduled chopping is pretty good at like knowing like what time of the day it is, but as far as like the state of that day and like the power being provided, that's probably the granular stuff he's talking about. Okay, so another one from Angaros here. What we really need is a mobile app, some kind of API control of your rigs.
Interestingly, like we've always said, like eventually we'll get a mobile app when it makes sense. But interestingly, on the second point, on API control, we sometimes go ahead and interview chefs of different profiles, and something I've heard from several chefs that run fleets of machines is that they explicitly don't want API control. They'd rather like control it directly in the machine than just get data through the API. And the concern really is security, not handing control to an API, or in this case also an app that could enable or disable an ongoing process on your PC. So it's still something that we might make optional at some point, but just having the capability in there could be troublesome. So no clear answer there, but I'm currently just leaning towards no control. But yes to a lot of info in the API.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I saw something come in. Okay. Oh, I just saw this one. Any $20 Xbox gift cards in the store soon. I'll check in with Armin, and you can always message him on the Discord. He'll have the inside scoop on rewards coming. Toggleable API control.
Concerning the rewards. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Rewards. We also have a rewards requests Discord channel. You can post any reward that you want to see on the store. And I know Armin checks it frequently. Now, posting it doesn't mean it'll be added necessarily, but we can check it regularly. And if we have a supplier and we can find a way to get it on the store, then we will.
Yep. Usually, a lot of it, it's not just is there demand for it, but it's also, oh, there's demand for it, but there's no good supply for those that makes sense, or at least not within our current selection of potential suppliers for gift cards. So there's a few other factors that go into that.
So about this toggleable API control.
Right. the issue is like it's not just like, oh, on the API or on the app, for example, you would toggle whether you want to control your machine or not. It's the fact that then on the actual machine there is logic to listen for control, so we would have to make sure that that is what gets toggled, and it's the machine saying like, I will not listen for instructions from outside of the machine. So that is more the concern, but we'll tackle that when we get closer to it.
Sweet.
I'll hop in just on glued to its comment, who said Chrome Remote Desktop works for now. I assume what he means is about the control, rig control from a mobile device. Just be aware that using remote desktop software can sometimes cause Salad to fail. We've seen it, with Chrome Remote Desktop. We've seen it with other applications like the Windows built-in feature for remote desktop. So if it works for you, great. But just be aware that since it does use virtualization, it can sometimes cause issues with Salad, in which case you might have to uninstall it to get Salad running properly again.
Thank you for adding color. Yeah, I remember back in 2021, the first Salad offsite I went to, my big idea that I brought to the table was a mobile app. Little did I know they'd already talked about it and didn't want to do it yet.
That is, I mean, that was my experience with a bunch of stuff as well.
Yeah.
When I first joined Salad, like for the first few months, I would be like, we should of course do A. And they'd be like, yeah, we've discussed doing A like 6 times in our history. Like, okay.
Gonna do it. Yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those extra things where I was like, oh yeah, Salad Buddy. Install it on your phone, you just know what's going on. All in due time. Can Salad sponsor a skater so we can see a Salad logo mascot hit a kickflip? Ooh, I mean, do we have a single skater on the Salad team?
I don't know. We might. We could just get him the banana costume or the carrot costume and do a kickflip.
Yeah. That works. Yeah, when it becomes fruitful to sponsor sports YouTube channels, if there's a Venn diagram where people who enjoy sport and extreme sport YouTube want to run
Here, Tony Hawk owns 3,049.
He probably does. He probably his financial advisor is probably like, hey, like, give me some money.
Down.
Trust me, bro. Yeah.
Cut down on the GPUs, man.
Yeah, that sounds like such a thing that rich people are just completely like, yeah, my guy's handling that for me. Will enterprise GPUs be supported?
They might at some point. The idea is that eventually Salad can support pretty much all compute, at least all PC compute, but not right now. And the reason why is the supply of these. So there's not yet a lot of these that are set up in such a way that we could ingest them into the network. So in theory, right now, if you had like, I don't know, like an H100 and you had a Windows machine and run Salad on it, the H100 would join the Salad network. But it's like, literally, we get like one every 3 months. Like somebody tries it out. But of course, there's really, since there's not enough supply, it's not something that we can go out and sell. Now, what could unlock this, and it's something that we discuss often internally, is multi-GPU support. Whenever we can support GPU clusters that opens things up. On top of that, many people who run these GPU clusters, of course, don't usually run them on Windows. So there's also the other unlock, which would be having like a bare metal a Linux distro that you could run that would essentially be Salad as a Linux distro. So whenever we have those two things, for sure, I think that's when we go out and try and get as many of these enterprise GPUs as we can. But I think those would always be a niche offering in our network. The real differentiator of Salad as a business is that we can leverage your spare compute as consumers. Otherwise, like there's already tons of other marketplaces for people with enterprise GPUs to go ahead and rent those. So yeah, whenever it makes sense, we'll build it.
From Pepe, I did make that thing which Electron injected an API handshake into the widget to report and receive controls from a Flask server, but I got in trouble for another utility that read logs, so I privated the repo and nobody noticed that it existed. Damn.
If you're just doing it for yourself, I think that's fine. I wouldn't feel right allowing that to be widespread in the community, because then, you know, somebody slips in some malware into the repo and suddenly you're stealing a bunch of people's credentials. A bunch of stuff could happen. So that's what we take the stance right now of like, maybe don't do it. But if you want to tinker with it on your own machine, go for it.
Great. Let's see. All right. Any more questions coming in? We are getting towards the latter part of the hour here. Thanks everybody who has participated and asked questions so far. And I see we have 23 viewers, so we're back.
We're so back.
We're so back. That's the theme this week. And for the rest of the year is we're so back. Brandon, one more question.
One more question. While Brandon puts that question up, let me remind everybody who's watching us, we're right now in undersupply. We desperately need more 4090s, 3090s, 3090 Ti's, and even some like 4080s in the network right now. If you have one of those, put it on the network. You'll get a workload guaranteed. So yeah, spread the word.
Yeah. 4090s, 3090s, 4080s, and there is some need for 3080s. And 4070 Ti supers also. But the main job shortages for these 4090s, 3090s, those high power GPUs. All right, Brandon, this is the question. Is there any standard breakdown for the tier pay system? Is it like a percentage or just varies from tier 1, 2, 3, etc. on each GPU?
Also, let me reread that. Is there any standard breakdown for the tier pay system? Is it like a percentage or it just varies from tier 1? I think you can view it. Of course, this is on the cloud side, and it's essentially what we charge for those, but you could get an idea of what those are specifically with the like pricing calculator over on the cloud website. As to the logic behind those, that is outside of my purview, so I'm not exactly sure how those were priced.
I saw someone mention, it was Cursed Adam. You have a 4070 Ti Super that's idle right now. I know that we do have some system RAM requirements for some of these jobs. I believe 30 gigabytes for those 16 gigabyte cards for system RAM. And then for the 4090, 3090, 3090 Ti jobs, we'll need 48 gigabytes of system RAM. Just to go through the other requirements you typically need, 50 to 75 or 70 to 100 gigabytes of disk space available. If you need any help getting your machine container ready, I imagine most people in here are. But if you're watching this and you're interested, let me know. DM us on Discord, and we have a link that will help you get set up. Anyways, I saw another question come in earlier before Brandon's. Any updates or comments on tiers for computers that have a higher uptime?
So there's really only one tier, which is, are you a star chef or not? And that's based off of higher average total chopping time over a week's period. So that's still ongoing, no changes there. We'll eventually add different qualifiers to the star chef status, but for now it's stable. Just chop as much as you can.
Kirsta, as far as you mentioned you have 64 gigabytes of RAM, so that should put you in place for that. It might be that because when I see these needs for GPUs, sometimes the client is cycling GPUs, and so when I see that we have some missing on the network, I figured it was pertinent to mention simply because it was getting a little higher, but it is still in the range where it might be that they're cycling GPUs and therefore there isn't as high of a need for that specific card. But I always try to put the word out regardless, because if there's even a chance that you'll get in, I want you to have that chance. But I'll keep you posted. And as I said earlier, like really it's those 4090s and 3090s that we're really gunning for right now. But the 4070 Ti Super is still definitely you'll likely get a job soon if you stay on. I saw this one come in twice, so I'll go ahead and hit it. Can we somehow delete old machine IDs in the earning history? And where can I see my machine ID in Salad app on the machine?
Oh, this one hits it's close to home. So for the first part of it, they naturally expire if those machine IDs have not reported earnings. And I believe it's set up 32 days. So if the 32 days of those not showing up, they'll naturally be pruned from your machine data on the earnings summary. Now, the second part of it, where can I see my machine ID on the app? This is sadly one of those things that you would, yes, I believe it's 32 days, or 36, somewhere around there. When we released the feature that allowed you to see per machine earnings, we assumed that there was a way, an easy way for us to just simply add the machine ID on the interface of the app. We had it all mocked up. It's actually like the code is there, ready to receive it. The issue comes from when does not the widget, not the app, but the salad bowl, the Windows process, when the salad bowl get access to the machine ID, and it is not always consistent. So there's been some back and forth internally as to, well, would you be okay with the UI not always showing the machine ID if it's not yet available? Or should we just wait until we can ensure that you will see it 100% of the time? It is still an internal discussion, and it's also not super high on the salad bowl's priority list. It is pretty high on the widget's priority list, but it's not for us to do. They need to communicate that to us whenever that's ready. We'll show it to you guys, and you'll be able to make more sense of your per machine earning data. And again, this is, let me be super clear, the priorities for the salad bowl team make a lot of sense. They're trying to make getting more workloads into the network as easy as possible, have our cloud customers find success much more often, much more reliably. So all of that, of course, takes precedence over sending us that piece of data, but we'll get there eventually. And I know it's frustrating. Like, I think Angaros and I discuss this at least once every couple.
All right, guys. I think they're tapering that down. But yeah. So, what recap the live stream? They need 3090s and 4080s, I believe, and some 3080s. I don't know. Apparently 4090s though. If you got a 4090, you can make $5 a day. If you have 64 gigs of RAM, at least an 8-core CPU, and a decent internet connection. So, buffering. What's buffering? Get rich quick. But yeah. So, hopefully everybody had a good evening, and I mean, Salad's back. They're live streaming now, so only it's just gonna get better. I know personally my Salad setup has been doing better over the last couple days than it has in weeks. So I don't know if that's due to them getting more customers, more people are coming online. I was told that now that school's coming back into session or school's back in session, that universities and that kind of thing are using it. I have no idea. Yeah, somebody said like adult content has a lull in the summertime and picks back up in the wintertime, and so that will drive a lot of Salad's profit and growth because apparently they have a lot of adult content customers. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I lagged. Missed all that. You lagged. I lagged? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. It will re-upload as a video after I'm done with this. I'm gonna jump off here because my internet is frustrating. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you on the flip side. If you want to talk about Salad stuff or you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always join the Discord. Go to any of my recent videos and there'll be a link down below in the description to a Discord page. And then there's a channel in this Discord called Salad Bowl, I believe, and that's where everybody goes to complain about Salad. Andrew, adult content. Yeah, when you set up Salad, it asks you if you would allow your system to run adult content, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's what's happening. That's where the money's at. I've actually never done a test where I turned it off and saw if I like lost a job, but I wonder if you have a job and you turn adult content off, if you lose the job, that means literally, there's like, it was right there on your system doing it. Can't wait for fiber in the next month or two. Yeah, Andrew, or sorry, Aragorn. I need fiber as well. Anyway, Todd, Red Panda Mining, Andrew, Aragorn, Chase, Mage, Coniferous. I know I missed a bunch of people in here. Thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate it. We're gonna try to restream their live streams as long as they keep doing their live streams. And maybe things will get better. If not, we do have other platforms that are coming out. I am expanding. It is just do them all, right? Just do everything. Yeah. Anyway, y'all have a good one. I'll see you on the flip side. Adios. Where are we at here? In the stream. Hey, there we go. Streaming. Goodbye. We have the perfect amount of viewers right now. Oh, nope. Down to 59 now. Pop, pop, pop. Why are 59 people still here right now? The stream is ending. You ain't gotta go home, you just gotta get off here. I ain't leaving until the stream stops. I heard that. Joker says his 4070s and 4060 Ti no jobs at all today. My 4060 Ti has had 0 jobs yesterday and today as well. Red Panda Mining. Adidas. Retro Mike, kindly restart. I just got here. Well, I'm about to click that button and it's about to be over and then it'll restart. So then you can go back and watch it all again. Mage, you had more than the actual salad live stream. Yeah, I mean, that's been pretty standard. They don't get a lot of views on there, and that's why I started restreaming. Hold on, I'm talking to a empty daggone thing. That's why I started restreaming their live streams, because, you know, there's like golden nuggets of information mixed in, and I was like, if you don't restart, I'm gonna ban RP. Well, that's between you and Red Panda. Red Panda's building salad rigs right now. He's about to eat up that available 4090s. Anyway, there's golden nuggets of information inside of these streams, but a lot of people don't watch them, so that's why I started restreaming them. And then they went on like a 2-3 week vacation, so we haven't had any live streams for multiple weeks now. We've been itching for the old salad, you know what I'm saying? Brandon Coin, you need as many rigs as the dude you have us all watching. Retro Mike's banned. Joker, you need as many rigs as the dude you have us all watching. Who are we? What? Joker, my English. Oh, 29 is a lot of machines. Yeah, that's Will, right? Will Tech. So, anyway, he's got a really good channel. I think I linked to it in the past. He's got a bunch of rigs. He actually got his power knocked out due to the hurricane yesterday. So I'm curious to see how his rigs come back online and what gets picked up and rented right away. Because I would imagine he got docked some kind of uptime or performance hit because all of his rigs going dead. Yeah, Will. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. I'm going to reach out to him and see how he's doing with the whole hurricane mess that went by. Anyway. For real, the stream is over now. I'm sorry, Retro Mike, Cook, Mage, Red Panda, Aragorn, all you guys. Have a good night, Joker. Peace. All right. Goodbye.
Retro tech with thrill eyes. Red Panda chasing dreams high. Crypto crag all night vibes. Joker miner breaking blocks. Michael counting crypto stocks. Chunky flying like a fox. Hobbyist miner never stops. Brandon Coin in the mix. Rabbit driven, need no fix. Geek trades, life full of tricks. Lying teeth, no conflicts. Joker miner breaking so many mine. Dreams so big, stars align. Electro beats, heartbeats shine. Future bright, next in line. Joker miner breaking blocks. Michael counting crypto stocks. Chunks flying like a fox. Hobbies miner never stops. Joker miner breaking blocks. Joker miner breaking blocks. Next in line. Joker miner. Joker. Joker, 22 lives, so many mine. Dreams so big, stars align. Electro beats, heartbeats shine. Future bright, next in line. Joker miner breaking blocks. Michael counting crypto stocks. Chunks flying like a fox. Hobbies miner never stops. Next in line. Joker. 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 Next in line.